1 p.m. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. Pakistan and Spain have agreed to strengthen cooperation in diverse fields, including trade and investment. The Senate was informed today that Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan spokesman who had surrendered to an intelligence agency will be dealt with according to the law of the land. The Amnesty International has demanded independent investigation into casualties caused by pellet-firing shotguns in occupied Kashmir. South Korea has urged North Korea to accept its proposal for reunification of separated families. And now the news in detail. Pakistan and Spain have agreed to take concrete measures to strengthen cooperation in all spheres, including trade and investment. The understanding came during the fourth round of Pakistan-Spain annual bilateral consultations in Islamabad. The Foreign Secretary Tahmina Janjua led the Pakistan side, while the Spanish delegation was headed by the Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs, Ildefonso Castro Lopez. The two sides expressed satisfaction over the growth of bilateral trade, which crossed the $1 billion mark for the fourth consecutive year. Exchange of views also took place on the United Nations reforms. The Senate was informed today that the law will take its course in the case of former spokesperson of Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, Ehsanullah Ehsan, who had surrendered himself before an intelligence agency last year. The Minister of State for Interior, Talal Chaudhry, assured the House during question hour that the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan spokesperson involved in several terrorist incidents will not be pardoned. He said video statements of Ehsanullah Ehsan have also been made public, which are sufficient to reflect that the concerned departments are dealing with his case as per the law of the land. The Minister of State said Pakistan has adopted a zero-tolerance policy in the war against the terrorists. The National Assembly was informed that national culture policy will be announced on the 25th of this month. The Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Maryam Aurangzeb, informed the House during question hour today that the policy envisages measures to revive the endangered and extinct cultures. She said this policy includes education on cultural diversity and necessary awareness campaigns. She said the policy has been framed after getting inputs from the provincial governments. The Minister of State for Maritime Affairs, Jafar Iqbal, informed the House that 30 railway stations are being upgraded at an estimated cost of 2.972 billion rupees. The Parliamentary Secretary for Cabinet Division, Raja Javed Ikhlas, informed the House that 2 nuclear power plants of 2,400 megawatt are near completion. He said the government is focusing on the exploitation of hydro resources as well as using LNG to produce cheap electricity. A 2-member bench of the Supreme Court, headed by the Chief Justice, Mr. Justice Mia Saqib Nisar, has adjourned the hearing of Nakibullah murder case for a fortnight. The court cancelled protective bail of former SSP Rao Anwar. It directed all security agencies to apprehend Rao Anwar. A member of the Peace Committee in Bajor Agency, Malik Abdurrahman, was killed in a remote control blast in Mamoond Tehsil today. The local administration has started investigation into the incident. In occupied Kashmir, the Indian troops in their fresh act of state terrorism martyred 2 Kashmiri youths in Punch district today. According to Kashmir Media Service, the troops killed the youth during a violent military operation in Balakot area of the district. Meanwhile, forceful demonstrations erupted in Palhalan area of Baramulla district today after Indian troops launched a cordon search operation. The Indian police and troops used brute force to disperse the protesters, triggering clashes between the demonstrators and the force's personnel. The Amnesty International has urged the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to call on the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi for immediately banning the use of pellet-firing shotguns in occupied Kashmir. In an open letter to the Canadian Prime Minister, the Amnesty International pointed out that security forces in Jammu and Kashmir have been using pellet-firing shotguns against protesters in the Kashmir Valley since at least 2010. These weapons have killed, blinded, and injured thousands of people. It asked for setting up independent investigations into cases of deaths or serious injuries caused by pellet-firing shotguns. South Korean Unification Minister Cho Myong-gyon has called on North Korea to accept its proposal to arrange a reunion event for families separated by the 1950-1953 Korean War. He said this at a joint traditional Lunar New Year ceremony held at the Imunjin-yak Peace Park near the border with North Korea today. He reiterated that Seoul is willing to arrange reunions if Pyongyang accepts its proposals. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.